On this episode of Harvest Eating, we're visiting Split Creek Farm in Anderson, South Carolina, a thriving goat dairy. Then back to my kitchen to make apple fritters with goat's milk caramel sauce, goat cheese crostini with a sweet pepper relish, and a goat cheese, black bean, and sweet potato quesadilla. We're headed to Anderson, South Carolina to visit Split Creek Farm and Goat Dairy. They have award-winning goats who produce goat products like cheese and fudge.
I wanted the credibility that being a licensed dairy gave the goats, because that's my first love, is the goats. And that's what we wanted to do, is create an environment where the goats were able to produce a real healthy product.
Today we visited a local goat dairy in my area. If you visit your store, you'll see goat cheese products from all over the world. This is great, but I'd recommend you seek out a brand from your state or region. This is the Harvest Eating way. Sweet potatoes are higher in fiber and nutrients than regular potatoes. They grow well in late summer to fall. My state, North Carolina, is the largest sweet potato producer in the country, so I have no problem finding local organic sweet potatoes. On this episode of Harvest Eating, we'll visit historic St. Augustine, Florida, on a mission to learn about daddle peppers. Then we'll go back to my kitchen and prepare a hot pepper mash, homemade salsa and guacamole, and a delicious Mexican pot roast. This is St. Augustine, Florida, our nation's oldest city. First settled by Spanish explorers in the 1500s. The Spanish influence in this city is evident everywhere. The Spanish names on the street signs, the beautiful Spanish architecture, and certainly some great Spanish culinary traditions. Although this city is great to visit for its architecture and history, I'm here because of this little pepper called the daddle pepper. This spicy hot pepper is very similar in heat to a habanero pepper.
Well, the daddle pepper is in the same line as the habanero and the Scotch bonnet, which are very hot peppers.
The daddle pepper has citrus flavors to it. It's a little bit hard to describe because it's very unique. A little bit earthy.
They're mild flavored sometimes, and then depending on which one you get, you can hurt yourself.
Many people that I know in St. Augustine grow this pepper.
Everybody has a daddle pepper growing in their backyard pretty much.
I don't think they grow it secretly. They'll argue about who has the true daddle pepper.
Okay, this pepper mash is done. I'm going to pour it out in this bowl so you can see what it looks like. I can't get enough hot peppers. I love the combination of earthy and sweet flavors, but sometimes the burn can be a bit much. So I have a tip for those of you who can't handle the heat. Consume dairy ingredients like sour cream, yogurt, or even heavy cream, which will help extinguish the fire in your mouth. You can top a hot bowl of spicy chili with some sour cream, or use some yogurt dip to cool off that spicy curry dish. You'll want to avoid the inclination to drink water or other beverages because they will only serve to spread the burn to your throat. Okay, now I want to show you how to make a very simple salsa fresca. So easy to do. Let me show you how I do it. First off, these are the tomatoes that I'm using. At the end of the summer, these plum or Roma tomatoes are very abundant. This is my preferred tomato for making salsa. What I like to do with these is cut off the top, and then I cut them in about 1/4-inch slices. And then I'll stack them on top of each other. On this episode of Harvest Eating, we're visiting Plumfield Plantation in Darlington, South Carolina, home of Carolina plantation rice. And then we'll show you how versatile rice can be, with a beans and rice dish with jerk chicken, wild mushroom risotto, and a delicious rice pudding. Darlington is the home of the famous Darlington Motor Speedway. It's in the heart of South Carolina. We arrived at the crack of dawn. At 6 a.m., Harold took us out to see the rice paddy down a dark, dusty, and narrow dirt road. Well, I've arrived here at Plumfield Plantation. Behind me is where they grow the Carolina Gold rice. They are the only people in South Carolina growing a commercially harvestable crop. It's sold locally. It's a sustainable crop, but this is it. This is where the rice is harvested. I think it's very important to be involved with your food and learn where it comes from, how it's grown. Beautiful setting, huh? On this episode of Harvest Eating, we'll be visiting the Charleston, South Carolina Farmers Market. We're going to take a look at their beautiful local tomatoes and learn all about heirloom tomato varieties. Then, we'll go back to my kitchen and make an heirloom tomato salad with a chive vinaigrette, an heirloom tomato tart, and my Harvest Eating tomato sauce. Charleston, South Carolina is a beautiful port city, rich in history and Southern charm. Right in the middle of downtown and the College of Charleston campus is Marion Square, now a park and home of the Saturday Farmers Market. It was once the parade ground of the old Citadel, the Military College of South Carolina. I'm here with David Howe of Owl's Nest Plantation. He is a local farmer and grows incredible heirloom tomatoes.
The German Striper is one of my favorite tomatoes. Typically weighs in at 1.5 to 2 pounds, and it's a low acidic tomato. But because it's an heirloom, it has just wonderful flavor. It just sort of bursts on your tongue when you eat that. And it's a little bit different as the seed packets are actually all along the outside.
Well, we couldn't do a show on tomatoes without talking about tomato sauce. So let's get right into my version of a great tomato sauce. The first thing we're going to do is infuse some oil. This is extra virgin olive oil in here. This is the best oil I have. Then we're going to add some finely minced onion. And then I have a boatload of garlic. These are some really big garlic cloves, and we're going to add all of those. But before I put them in, I'm just going to give them a quick little chop. I hope you enjoyed my tomato recipes today, and I want to encourage you to go out and find a farmer's market. Look for those heirloom tomatoes, grow some yourself, and give these recipes a try. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you again next time on Harvest Eating.